All right, so Jason Canfora is with us as usual, Friday spot. Jason's got all the info, CBS Sports NFL Insider. You see him on NFL Today. You see him on Tops. JJ, what's happening, pal? How are you?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, good. Listen, Tiki and I are going to really tackle this in depth. We'll give you the first whack. This Dez Bryant story is just incredibly fishy. What do you take away from it?
I mean, which part of it? I mean, my takeaway from it
is... The
part
that he was gone for 3 days.
Yeah. No, look, Dallas is a little different place, man. You know, Jerry gives these guys a lot of latitude, a lot of leeway. They obviously are willing to put up with a fair amount of shenanigans in order to get it done on Sunday, or at least attempt to get it done on Sunday. So I don't think that if you look at it through the prism of Jerry Jones' Cowboys, I don't think it's particularly bizarre. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of how it goes down there. What my takeaway is that they have a very liberal sort of definition of what day-to-day means down there. I mean, at the moment that I'm hearing in the summer that Tony Romo's out for 6 to 10 weeks, Jason Garrett's calling it a day-to-day injury. You know, now they're calling this day-to-day, and then they're like, well, week to week. I mean, look, I don't think he's playing for 3 weeks based on what I've heard. I don't believe he'll be back until after their bye week, October 30th against the Eagles, and that remains the target for Tony Romo as well. And if they can survive till then, all the swirling suspensions and Randy Gregory now out till week 14 and DeMarcus Lawrence coming back. And, you know, if they can survive till then with Dak Prescott, that should be a team that could make some hay in the second half.
Yeah, no, especially in the NFC East, which seems like it's open. Should we be worried that Dez Bryant is falling into those old ways where he required a security guard to follow him around?
It's not good. I think you want guys to mature, right, and learn from past transgressions, and to be on this upward trajectory. I just think you've got to look at it through a couple of like if we look at it through that prism, it's not good. If you look at it through a prism of that versus what's going on in Cleveland or some, you know what I mean, or Josh Gordon or whatever, I mean, is Dez high maintenance? Yeah. Do you have to babysit him at times? Absolutely. Has he come a long way from when he went into the league? Yeah. Do guys in that locker room know that he badly wants to win, and on Sunday he'll show up and give it all he's got? Yeah. And are they accustomed to putting up with a little bit of nonsense at times for that? Yeah. Could that change over time, guys? I guess maybe, but it wasn't that long ago they put a whole bunch more money in his pocket, right? I mean, he's been there his whole career. They know him better than anybody else, and they re-upped.
I don't trust him. I just don't. Jason Canfora with us here on CBS Sports Radio. Tiki and Tierney Show, of course. Jason, CBS Sports NFL Insider, giving us the scoop.
Jason, you mentioned Josh Gordon there. What do we know that's going on now that he's entered rehab?
Well, I mean, certainly his status with the NFL, if we want to look at it from a football situation, will have to be resolved at some point. The league isn't commenting on it now. I think it's fair to assume that either he thought he may not be able to pass a test, or maybe he hadn't passed a recent test. I mean, these guys are, when you're at the stage of the program he's in, you're getting tested, constantly. So he obviously didn't feel like he was ready to be in the place he needs to be, mind, body, and soul, to play football. And I don't think he'll ever play another game for the Cleveland Browns. They've been beyond patient and loyal to this point. But I can't imagine them now waiting around for 2017 and then trying this all over again. And the larger reality is whenever he does emerge from rehab and whenever he does sit down with Roger Goodell next, his ability to even come back in week 4 was always still contingent on him, being completely above reproach during the time he was suspended. So, you know what I mean? Are they going to look at, regardless of whatever the testing status is recently, and we don't know that yet, and we're not supposed to ever know because it's supposed to be, confidential. One may, the league could look at him even entering rehab as sort of some admission of what, what he was doing that would run afoul of the testing process in the first place. So it's very cloudy. Josh Gordon's not going to be playing football in 2016. And it's not safe to assume he'll be playing in 2017, whether through his own decisions or through whatever further potential sanctions he could face from the league.
I'm talking to Jason La Canfora. I'm going to get to some of the games here now, and just as a general premise, I guess, a nice jump-off point as we get ready to really jump into the Week 4 pool. Last night, not completely unexpected. The Dolphins stink. Bengals starting to get it together. Played hard, played well. Couple of teams that I think many of us thought would be very good this year, and still might. Carolina, the Cardinals. I was less enthused about Seattle for O-line issues, whatever. But a lot of people still like them. There's a couple of teams that show some vulnerabilities, and I want to know if it's just an early season trend or, in your opinion, maybe a foreshadow of things to come for the rest of the season.
In terms of those teams you just mentioned?
Yeah, really more so the Panthers and the Cardinals.
I think the Panthers are in a little separate situation because, we can look at them as like, oh, well, what would their seeding be, or are they as good as last year? But all that really matters for them is, are they better than Tampa, Atlanta, and New Orleans, right? Because that alone gets them a home playoff game. And let's face it, if Arizona, as a wild card, was going into Carolina right now, I would tend to go with Carolina in the playoffs against Carson Palmer, and Arizona on the road. We just kind of saw that unfold a few months back, right? It didn't go so well for Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as you can pile on them, and they've got issues, can't rush the passer, can't protect their quarterback, and those are fundamental, huge issues. Do you really think they can't be better than those other three teams?
I think the Falcons are pretty good, Jay. Certainly viable. Maybe I cut the point off there, but they are a viable football team this season.
If Carolina can't be better than Atlanta, if they can't at least split with Atlanta and beat those other teams, then they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm not willing to go there yet. I think they're the best team in that division. I don't think they have a left tackle. They're going to have to reinvest all that money they saved on Josh Norman. Where did that go? They might want to reinvest some of that before the trade deadline. I'm not ready to write them off. Arizona, I thought they were a wild card team coming into the year. I still believe they can be because you tell me who gets there if they.
Yeah, but wait, Jay.
You know
So
what I mean?
if you thought they were a wild card team, who are you giving the division to?
Seattle.
Really?
Yeah.
You still like Seattle? Come on, Jay.
Who's won the most games in the NFC the last 5 years?
Come on. How about it's 2016, Jay?
I understand that they'll figure it out because it seems.
I don't know if they'll figure anything out. Their O-line stinks.
But we thought that last year,
Whose
too.
O-line is good.
It's not. He gets crushed every week. Come on.
Carolina's got the same crap.
They don't
O-line
turn
that
the
they had
ball
last
over
year.
anymore. They don't.
The Super Bowl. Michael Orr is your left tackle. Come on. Remmers is your right tackle.
Hey,
who's good?
You can keep Seattle. I'm not saying they're bad. I don't think they're nearly as good as you think they are.
Hey, Jason,
and I think the Jets beat them on Sunday.
Jason, take me out stay out in the NFC West. How soon until we see Colin Kaepernick taking snaps at quarterback? I know that people want to talk Blaine Gabbert as the guy. He looked pretty good. He stinks. He throws behind guys. His timing is way off. When do we see Cap?
He's completing 55% of his passes for 5.5 yards per attempt.
Oh,
and
lovely.
his QB rating is 68.
What's he throwing to running backs all day?
Yeah, he stinks. And he stinks. Yeah, he can't. What does that tell you? He can't complete screen passes. Ask Torrey Smith. Is he still there?
Tell me about it.
Is he on a post on a milk carton somewhere there? Like, if you see this guy, let him know. Let his quarterback know he's still on the team. They play twice in 5 days, both home games. Dallas, and then on CBS they host Arizona on next Thursday night.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, I mean, Chip Kelly won't be able to push this back any more than that. He's still saying that Kaepernick's not 100%. Well, 2 weeks from now, he'll be pretty darn close. Watch, especially if Blaine Gabbert keeps playing like this. I'm looking at that change to come after the Thursday night game.
I was watching Monday QB, and I saw you say that the other day on CBS Sports Network, so you've been saying that for a few days. Jason La Canfora with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. All right, let's get to Odell Beckham for a second here. Much along the lines of Dez Bryant, a very combustible, volatile, incredibly talented wide receiver. You don't know.
Dez who?
Dez.
Right, just making sure.
Just making sure we still say with that inflated. He has no idea what we're talking about. Just laugh. Just go along with it, Jay. If Coughlin were still there, I feel a lot more confident that this thing would get snuffed out. Mm-hmm. Not that McAdoo can't, but I don't know. It worries me when a rookie head coach says he's got to calm down, and the next day the receiver says, I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
That's easy for you to say, but who was on the sidelines while all that crap happened with Josh Norman last year? Who was the head coach?
True. And
what did he do at halftime? What did he do at the third quarter?
But Jay, it didn't linger into the next game, is what I'm saying. And the next 2 months.
We roundly criticized Coach Coughlin for not yanking him back.
Uh-huh.
It happened after the game. McAdoo calls him out as a rookie head coach the next morning. I don't know. I was actually impressed by it.
No, I think BT's question though, Jason, is more the defiance.
Correct.
Of Odell Beckham Jr.
I commend McAdoo.
Basically dismissing.
He's like, I don't know. I'm not going to change. Who cares what this guy says? That's the way it sounded, Jay.
He's got to grow up. He's looked at on that team as a diva, as a guy who is sort of off from everybody else at times, or in his own head, in his own headphones. And it's Sunday. Like, if he's making one-handed grabs, if he catches 8 balls for 175, I got news for you. They all love Odell.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have a big game and he's melting down and crying afterwards, then somebody's got to say something to him, and let's try to make him part of the group, and let's let him know that stuff reflects on all of us. Some of it is how he's wired. Part of his competitiveness is over the top. And that's why he can, watch the guy juggle aside. Watch all the kind of different athletic things he can do. And part of that is just because he has this incredible drive and competitive spirit. That's also why he goes over the top sometimes and loses his mind and gets too emotional.
Yeah.
So you got to, you can't, one kind of comes with the other. That's sort of who he is.
Here's the thing, though, Jay. It seems very anti-New York Giant. You know what? You hear what I'm saying? It's they don't stand for that. Now, a lot of people thought that they drafted Sterling Shepard to replace Victor Cruz. Could it get to a point?
They don't stand for that, but we did have the kicker, right, suspended for just one game and whatever.
But that's different.
Was it New York Giants to go spend $100 million in free agency?
But here's the thing, Jay. That was behind the scenes. Nobody saw that. That was not expected to come out. The Giants don't draft guys who were problem children in society. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like Odell is edging that. He's not there, but he's edging it. Could there be a point where we see them say it's not worth it?
Jay, 30 seconds, pal. Go ahead, brother.
I don't get that sense right now. I don't think we're close to being there. And, in terms of in society, what's he done? Besides getting a war of words with Josh Norman, what's he done off the field?
Oh, no, nothing criminal. Nothing, obviously.
You know what it reminds me of, Jay? It reminds me of Jeremy Shockey. In a lot of ways. Now, Jeremy was fantastic, but at the end, they couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Yeah, I just think Odell's a ways away from the end. I don't even think he's hit his prime yet. We forget how young this guy is.
Hey, real quick, 10 seconds. You're a big baseball fan, devout Orioles fan. I know you saw the Yankee fans and a lot of obviously Red Sox fans were there. Cheer Ortiz. You got a problem with that?
No, especially when you're pretty much out of it. No, he just came through Baltimore a week ago, and they gave him a phone he trashed, and he got a little bit. He got some Nico balls.
I got you. Jason La Canfora. Hey, Jay, we'll catch you on the NFL today. I'll see you Sunday morning at Tops. Thanks, pal. Always appreciate it.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Good, spicy conversation with Big J.